What's up? What's up? What's up, guys? It's a Friday. What's up? What's up? Today we've got a full panel. We went back and dug up Dan, who I've done a feature with before. We had such amazing features back in the days. I remember when me and Dan did our first feature. The internet was bad. Remember, the internet was bad.
Yeah, it was a while ago now. I think we'd only just both pretty much started out, and we're like, let's just roll with it.
I know that. I remember those days when the internet was bad and we had to do it over and over again. So today we have Dan, who's representing Burnley. You can see he already has his cup. He's from the channel. Unfortunately, look, I'm going to remove them so that your names can show. What I'll do is I will take the... Yeah. By the way, the overlay, if you like it, guys, that was made by Dan. He made it for me. That's the man who's behind that. So I'm just going to remove that for a minute so that we can see people. So Dan, before we start off, can you just tell people where they can find you?
Yep. Follow that logo. If you see that logo, the only social media you will not see that logo on is probably OnlyFans. That's about it. Everywhere else you'll see it. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, you name it. Search Turf Morehouse and you'll find us there. So cheers for having me.
Okay, cool. We have also Gundorian from Pitch Points as always. How you doing, Gundo? He's not available at the minute. So Veta,
I'm here. I'm here.
Here. So we've got Gundorian, who's from Pitch Points, who also features on this channel regularly and is always here with us. But Veta, where can people find you before we start off?
Yeah, like Dan, you won't find me on OnlyFans, but you will find me on Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter. And you can see the tag there. It's at Vader Games.
Okay, cool. So we already have somebody in the chat. How you doing, Charlie, man? I hope you're having a good evening yourself too, Charlie. So look, we're going to start off with the show now. So it's Burnley versus Man City this Saturday. As always, when we meet Burnley, it's very interesting. It's always a very, very cagey affair from Burnley. As always, I don't know how you guys are going to play this time since you are fighting to stay up. So look, I'm just going to start off with you guys. How have things been this season, Dan, since the last time we met?
We started the season as badly as we ended it last year. And to be honest, I actually thought we were going to do a lot better. I thought the fact that last season there were no fans in stadiums, I thought a team like Burnley needs that 12th man behind it. And having the fans back in and bums on seats, we'll get behind them and sort of, at least finish mid-table this season. And then my alarm clock went off and I had to get up and obviously go to work. So that were all a dream. But yeah, we started off bad. We continued doing what we did last season, which was going 1-0 up in a game and then ended up losing it. We did it at the back end of last year against Newcastle, against Southampton. And we started the same again. We went 1-0 up against Brighton on the opening day, lost 2-1. Went 1-0 up against Everton in this season, and 6 minutes later we're 3-1 down. It's just been madness. We just can't seem to. It's almost like since we've changed our philosophy on football at the moment, there's a couple of cracks appearing in Burnley's defence, and not something you'd really say from a Burnley perspective when usually they're really solid defensively. But yeah, it's cost us, and we've been poor this season. I can't make it sound better than what it is. What it is. It is what it is. We are poor. Last season there were 3 teams worse off than us. This season we're one of them 3.
Let me ask you, Dan. I was surprised when you guys sold Chris Wood to Newcastle. Has him leaving impacted you guys? But the new guy is balling, isn't he? The new guy you bought, the 6-foot guy you just bought in. Yeah.
To be fair, obviously we couldn't do anything about it. The release clause was hit. He went to Newcastle. That was it. We could say please stay. But if he wanted a new challenge, he's well within his right to just bugger off. And at first I was like, crap, shit. What do we do from here? Like, where do we go? Our source of goals has gone. And we're already struggling with that. So what happens? So I was like, really? We paid 15 million for him from Leeds when he were a Championship striker. So you've turned him into a striker that's scoring double figures in a Premier League season in a team that's trying to stay up every year. Is 25 million really, an extra 10 million for what he's done, it's nothing really. But then a couple of weeks later, obviously Luca Dean left Everton to join Aston Villa for 25 mil. And I was just like, you know what? Luca Dean's been Everton's best player. And yet he's only gone to Villa for 25 million. If anything, if we've got 25 million for a 30-odd-year-old striker who's constantly offside and only got 3 goals all season, I will take that. But at first, I was disappointed.
Okay, great. So, do you have any players that are injured from your side?
Matej Vidra's now back in training. He's just come back from an hernia operation. I think Ben Mee's out for the rest of the season, which is a massive miss because he is such a leader. And
Wait, Ben Mee is out for the rest of the season.
It's looking that way. Yeah, it's looking that way. If he gets back, he'll be looking at the last 2 games if he's lucky.
We could have he could have been part of the England squad, isn't it? Because he was doing well. He was being called for England. Am I wrong about that? He was being called for England, I think so. Well, I'm wrong.
I'd like to think so. I mean, I want him to. I think he deserves it, especially more than people like Tyrone Mings. I think he deserves it more than players like that. But it just is what it is. We're not going to be like Klopp. We're not going to whinge about international players and all this and that.
Or lie that your player is injured and now he's running around.
Again. He talks shit to get what he wants. Klopp is just, Klopp's just he's weird. He's weird.
Oh, guys, by the way, Veta and Gundo, you can jump in. It's not just a 2-man show. It's not just Dan and Patrick here. You can jump in.
No, who's injured from Liverpool side? Who's injured?
Ben Mee.
He's talking about Burnley.
Matej Vidra.
Yeah, I saw the Ben Mee one. I saw that one. It was the last game, right? It was the last game that he played. He got injured, correct?
It was either the last game or the game before. I think it was against Leicester. It was against Leicester, so it were 2 or 3 games before. Yeah, because I think we played Leicester, then we played Leicester, Chelsea, and Brentford. So 3 games ago.
Yeah, I remember that game. I like Ben Mee. He used to be a City Academy, right? And then he moved.
We got him and we signed him and Kieran Trippier. They came to us on loan, and then obviously we signed them permanently from you guys.
Yeah, I remember him.
But Ben Mee, I think he'll retire at Burnley. Mate.
Is Cornet fit?
Yeah.
Okay. Cornet, I like
the fear. Is that the guy who always finds a way against City? Cornet.
And then
that Lyon game, he scarred us, didn't he, Gundo? In that Lyon
maybe
game.
he scarred you. Maybe he scarred me, man. The problem with Lyon game was not the player, was the manager. Our manager overthinking. That was the problem with Lyon.
So Adam, it's all good, man. All good. I hope you got well. We've got Noah here. How you doing, bro? How you doing? Everyone in the comments, guys. As I said, subscribe to the panel's channels. Make sure you subscribe to their channels, and also make sure you. Just give me a minute. Make sure you also like the vid, share the vid, get involved. So, look, I'm just going to ask you one more.
One more point. I do like Weghorst, though.
Go ahead.
I do like Weghorst.
Yeah, he's complete. It's like I say to people, it's strange the way I say this, but for a big lad, he's got so much talent with the ball at his feet, something that Chris would never had. But
that's true.
For 6'6", a 6'6" striker, who, in terms of his aerial ability, is absolute dogger. He is crap in the air. He is the epitome of white men can't jump. Honestly, he really is. He really is. He cannot jump for toffee. He's just
is he not good at headers? Because that's what I was scared about. I was like, oh, this tall guy, obviously very good and very strong at headers. I know he can bring the ball down. I saw him again in the Man United game. He can get the ball, hold the ball, and
he's very good.
Yeah, he's good, and he brings others into play. So for me, I'm not so much bothered about his goal return. If he can involve others and bring others into the game, and create opportunities for them, then that's as good as a goal for me.
Yeah. I think he's also like the classic player that he is so tall, he doesn't really have the he doesn't add the vertical to the height. Like he'll have good positioning and then execute, but he's not looking to necessarily jump over people to hit a header.
Yeah.
He's
He's
dangerous.
the Dutch Peter Crouch. The Dutch Peter Crouch, as we like to call it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Okay, so I'm just going to before we discuss more
Oh, do we
things. I
have to
don't know if
see this, Patrick? Do we have to really?
we have to see the recent. I'm going towards our recent form for both teams. But before I go there, do you have anything you want to ask the city guys, Dan?
I mean, yeah, obviously, what do you see changing from the Palace game? Because obviously, going from that, you've then got Liverpool coming up, which is absolutely massive in terms of the title contest. So, do you see maybe resting some players in this game, or do you think he's just going to think, nah, they've been rested long enough, they've had 3 weeks off?
I think it really depends on how players return from this international break. I can see him. I can see Pep giving a break to the players that really put in some minutes, but the fact that we've got you and you guys are playing for EPL survival, it's a very dangerous game, and it's a game where City's got to have momentum going into more importantly going into the Champions League match as opposed to the next EPL match. So to know what Pep's going to do with regards to setting up for the Champions League, I would just assume that he's going to put out a strong field and maybe take a cautious route with regards to what we have remaining defensively. So it's come out that Diaz is still injured. I think it's the 4-week mark for when they said he would be out 4 to 6 weeks. So it looks like it's going to take longer for him to return. And then I'm not sure if you saw, but John Stones came back from internationals with a little nick. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it's if it's the games that Klopp has kind of done with some of his players on why the return came back.
He was in training today in the footage, so I'm not sure.
I would say you've got Nathan Ake coming back as well, haven't you? And he grabbed a goal at international stages.
He did. He did, and I think he's going to be leaned on heavily with the amount of games that are coming in. But I think defensively, I would guess that he's going to maybe have a lineup that we may not expect because of the injuries that we have. And then I'll chime in with some more depending on what Gondo wants to say.
Yeah, so for me, I see things a little differently. I think of the next 3 games, this game on Saturday is the most important one. I think so because we will beat Liverpool at home. We will beat Liverpool at home for a couple of factors. One, it's at home. They haven't beaten us in the Premier League at home. 2, we've got the fans at home who know how important that game is. 3, the way they play is perfect for us. Nice and open, spaces everywhere. There will be goals. We will beat them at home. Atletico Madrid will get 2 bites of the apple. Burnley away is a difficult game because of the fact that they need the points to survive. Yeah. You're coming off a 2-week break. You don't quite know how the team is set up in terms of their form. So Burnley's had 2 weeks to prepare, to plan, to organize, to structure. And Sean Dyche is very good at setting teams up to defend and also structure. We're coming back from players coming all over the whole world. They're going to be coming back. They have 2 days training. We don't know what the form they're going to be in. So tomorrow's game, in my opinion, is the more difficult of the 3 that's coming up. Right, Liverpool. I'm not even worried one bit about the Liverpool game. I probably go to sleep for that game because I know.
Come, don't take it. You've reached. No. You're there, but don't take it there.
That's tremendous confidence.
Let me finish. Right?
Do you not think the Liverpool game come at a bad time though? Because obviously you've got us who are obviously scrapping to try and save ourselves, which is a tough game in itself. But then you've got Liverpool slap bang in the middle of 2 Champions League fixtures, home and away.
Not necessarily. The reason why I say no is because for the big games, we're better than against the less important games. So look at our record this season, right? Chelsea away, Chelsea at home, United away, right? All wins. Liverpool away, a draw, which could have been a win. PSG at home, win. So for all the Sporting away, win. For all the really important games, we get up to it. We're really up for the fight, and we don't lose. It's those Palace and Southampton that are stuck in that are tough to break. That's where we struggle, because it's either the team is not playing well, the team selection is bad, or the fact that we're coming off some kind of rut. So my concern is that the game that is the most important for me is tomorrow's game. The Liverpool game I'm not worried about at all. I'm not even worried about that game at all. At all. Because they have to beat us in order to go ahead. I don't see that happening. Let's see, we get 2 bites.
It's strange though, because looking from the outside, it almost looks like now, as well as Liverpool will probably be the same, where you've got 9 cup finals really in terms of the Premier League games, because one slip up is going to cost you. So it's almost like 9 FA, 9 cup finals in a sense.
Let me make this clear to everyone, right? Let me make this clear. There will be a slip up, guaranteed. You know why? Because it's impossible to get 97 points this season. The same way I said earlier this year, when we're chasing 1 or 2 points, we're going to slip up, and we did slip up at 99 points. I said we're going to slip up. We're going to probably drop another 3 points this season. So will Liverpool, right? Whoever wins this league is going to be 95, 94, 96 points. That's where we're going to drop at. So the points will be dropped, right? Points will be dropped. So let's relax, right? It all happens.
I understand that. I understand we're not going to go on a perfect winning run to close out the year. Even the way some Liverpool fans, they're talking like every game's going to be a win. But going back to what Dan said with regards to where the fixtures are landing, I myself would have preferred for it not to be. It is what it is. So I've accepted what the fixture schedule is. But if it were to be Burnley, Atletico Madrid, another Leeds in the middle of that, Atletico, and then Liverpool, that would have been a little more comfortable for me. Whether the team steps up and executes, I'm all for it. I believe that they will. But how the matches would have landed, I truly would have preferred a little bit of a.
So Vader, let me counteract that. So would you have preferred Liverpool away at Anfield in the middle of that?
No, not away. We're home.
Right. So, but would you have preferred that?
No.
Right. And then after Liverpool, you now have United, you have Tottenham, you have Wolves. So that's the record. That's what Liverpool are going to have after those games.
Yes.
Right. And then they may have to play Bayern Munich in between that.
Yeah.
So if you look at the schedule, right? If you look at the games after we play Liverpool in the league, we have Leeds, we have I think Brighton, we have Watford, we have 4, right? Yeah. And in between those is going to be the semifinals. Liverpool have United, Tottenham, Wolves, Villa, and then Bayern Munich twice in 4 weeks. Yeah. So when you balance everything out,
if they make it on out of their group,
right. This is why we're here. This is why we play the game. This is why we play for 9 months.
I'm with you.
Right?
I'm with you.
So for me, Burnley tomorrow is the most important game, and I say that because of the fact that it's a difficult game that we have to win. Because Liverpool played an hour before, and they're going to win their game against Watford probably, which means we're going to be second in the league. We have to win a game against Burnley, which makes it very, very hard. Yeah. The game against Liverpool is advantage City because we're at home and the legs play expansive, which means there will be goals.
Fair enough.
And after that, they now have to play United. They now have to play Tottenham. They now have to play Wolves and Aston Villa. We have to play 3 of the teams that are in the bottom of the league.
Yes.
So that's why I say Burnley tomorrow is just a difficult game that we have to get ready for.
What could we expect style of play wise from Burnley?
Oh, Veda, before you go, do you want to just answer this question by no before Veda answers your question? Because there's a question here from says Patrick, question for the Burnley fan: does Canota make you have an X factor and make you less Brexit FC? I don't know. He's an Arsenal fan.
Hey, it's all right.
He's stirring the pot.
Yeah, I'd say so. I'd say so. I mean, when we signed Corney, it was strange because we were like, whoa, we're used to all these retired English players that want one last crack at the Premier League. We're basically like a retirement home for the old Premier League players. And then Cornet comes in from Lyon, and you're like, whoa, you've gone from playing Champions League football to playing like kicking a ball about with your mates on the street. You've come to Burnley, like, what the hell's all this about? But I like the fact that our chairman flew out there, enticed him to come and stuff like that. We nearly signed Orsic, as well in January, and it's only because he got death threats from their fan base that he turned a blind eye and said, I can't. He was set to join. He's actually come out in an interview and said, I was set to go to Burnley. I said, even if they got relegated, I was set to help them get promoted again. He said, but what was the words? The love I've received from the fan base since made me realise I shouldn't leave. No, it's the fact that you got death threats and told that they'll burn your family home if you leave. And that's why you went, no, and your arse fell out. Simple as that.
Wow.
But yeah, we are not Brexit FC anymore. We're actually delving into the foreign market, which is strange because you don't see that with Burnley at all.
What do you credit that to in terms of that kind of change in I don't want to say ambition, but that change in focus with regards to players?
A chairman that wants to branch out, because it's been a full year now since we changed, the top guy at the helm. We went from Mark Garlick, who gave you a tenner and expected a big shop at Waitrose, and now we've got this guy who will literally put his hands in his pocket and say, you know what, let's do this, let's do that. The football has changed. We have started getting the ball down and playing a bit of football, and that's why we're seeing cracks at the back, because we're seeing a different style of play. And it's not just that, but you've got a team full of 30-plus-year-olds, and you're expecting the way of football to change, especially when the bulk of the Burnley squad have been playing long ball for 3 or 4 seasons. You're then expecting them to change. They're going to be like, what do we do here? We're not used to seeing a player like Cornet who, if we see space, there's nobody running into that pocket because they know they'll be blowing out their arse to get back. But yeah,
Dan, the funny thing, Dan, is that whenever I watch Burnley now, I look for Cornet because he excites me. I think he's a great player. Yeah. And there's a lot that Sean Dyche has taught me. And the reason I say that is because I coach kids. And whenever we play against a team that's technically better than us, I learn from Sean Dyche about how to play defensively and how to keep compact and transition. So people talk about, Burnley football, it says, but no, you can learn a lot because you won't always have players that are technically good like David Silva or Bernardo Silva. You won't have those kind of players all the time, right, as a coach. No. You have to learn to adapt your game to the opposition. And I learned a lot from Sean Dyche about playing a 4-4-2 low block, counter-pressing, winning headed balls, scoring goals against a better team. So there's always something you can learn. And now you have Cornet, I think it gives you an extra dimension to do things that you don't normally do.
No, he does. I just hope Dash doesn't change him a little bit, because in the recent games, he's looked a bit off it as Cornet. I don't know whether Dash has been telling him to play sort of similar to Chris Wood, on the shoulder of the last defender and be that nippy striker that nips in. But he's sort of ahead of it. He tries to get ahead too much, and he's been offside quite a few times in recent games. But that question you were going to allude to there, Patrick, Weghorst is a massive upgrade from Chris Wood. He makes Chris Wood look like Weghorst is Harrods, Chris Wood is Poundland. Honestly, that's what we're talking here.
That's a bit.
No. I agree with Dan, because when I started watching Burnley with Weghorst, I'm like, okay, this is different. He gets stuck in. He's hardworking. He's good with the ball at his feet. Yes, he's in the air. He's not as good, but he gets it. He gets English football. He knows what to do, and he's playing to this. Yeah. There's a game he played. I think it was against Chelsea. What team was it? Where he completely battered Chelsea in the back.
He did it against Chelsea in the first start. He did it against Man United, for the equaliser.
Yes.
He's like I think it were. Yeah, he did. He turned Harry Maguire and made Harry Maguire and Scott McTominay cuddle each other. Because he just turned them inside out.
That was the game. I remember that game. Yeah, I remember that game. Yeah.
How you doing, Daniel, man? What are you doing, Daniel? Welcome, Daniel. There's a prediction here from Hassim. Hassam, how you doing, Hassam, man?
He would say that. He hates Burnley. He hates Burnley.
But he's also he's stuck now. He hates Burnley. He doesn't like Burnley, but also he doesn't like City. So he's stuck. But I know what he's also doing.
He's trying
to jinx it here with the 4-0. Osam says he makes Chris Wood look like Chris Wood.
The thing is, though, right, as I say, at first I was like, okay, Chris Wood, it's bad. And then I look at it and I thought, you know what? He's gone to Newcastle and they think they've weakened us, but they really haven't. If anything, they've strengthened us by doing that. And he's not going to get the service at Newcastle because you've got St. Maximin, Ryan Fraser, Matt Ritchie. Apart from Kieran Trippier, who likes to get an early ball in, there's no chance he's going to get a ball on his head. Because those sort of wingers like to cut in and have a pot shot themselves.
Yeah,
he's not going to get the service at all.
Yeah. He's no longer the focal point as he once was.
Yeah, exactly. And he said at Burnley, he said he had to leave because he was in his comfort zone, and nobody gains success in their comfort zone. If your comfort zone is cuddled up with the offside flag, then feel free, mate, because that's all you were. That's all you were.
You sound a bit salty, Dan. A bit salty.
No. His goal return was second to none, and I thank him for everything he did for us. But he did spend most of his time offside all the time, and it's only the odd goal here and there. If anything, it sort of started to stagnate. As I say, we've got 25 million for a 30-year-old who only had 3 goals.
Yeah.
Like, literally, that 25 million Newcastle could have spent on so much better, but
again,
the 25 million.
The 25 million speaks to the wallet size that Newcastle has now, right? So I don't think it was so much how they evaluated Chris Wood. I think it was so much of they needed themselves to get out of relegation. And then they obviously weakened you by acquiring him at
the time, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it looked like, isn't it? More weakening more than buying for the advantages.
The reality is that they actually didn't weaken Burnley. Actually, Burnley.
Yeah, but I'm trying to say that was the aim, though.
That was the
aim at the time. Yeah.
Do you remember Newcastle when they signed? I think they signed Ryan Fraser and they signed somebody else. And there was that video that went around that Andy Carroll posted saying, Matt Ritchie to Bournemouth, we'll bring Bournemouth to Ritchie and stuff like that. But then they've got Chris Wood, they've got Kieran Trippier, they've practically got they've got Jeff. Oh no, they don't have Jeff Hendrick. They shipped him out off on loan. But
Burn from Brighton. They bought Burn from.
Yeah, but I'm on about they've got 3 or 4 former Burnley players in there. I mean, why didn't the Saudis just come by Burnley for Christ's sake? Give us a bit of money.
Burnley will give us a tough game tomorrow. Daniel, that's true. They will give us a tough game. Let's just see what Hussam is saying. Burnley to win, but there's no chance whatsoever or zero hope. There's always hope. There's always hope, Hussam. There's always hope. Timothy say they should have just waited and got Broja at the end of the season for same price. Yeah, that's right. But they should have brought Broja. Broja is a baller better than Lukaku. All those quick fix for Newcastle. Hi, chaps. How you doing, Big Morgan, man? So, look, I'm going to put you on the spot, Dan. So what I'm going to do is, before we go to the prediction of, before we predict the whole game and give you a prediction, I'm gonna do a lineup with you, Dan, but I'm going to give you this lineup. So you're going to do a combined of Burnley players and Man City players. So we'll give you the keys to do everything. The lads will jump in and ask you the reason why you put somebody there, and then you'll be able to. So you have the keys for the whole combined lineup between Burnley and City.
Right, there's not going to be that many Burnley players make this 11, so
it's based on current form too, right? Is that how we're going to do it? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. See, I'm going to go
Pope. The keeper.
I'm going to go Pope in goal over Ederson, just because I think the back 4 for Man City are strong anyway, and probably that's what Ederson doesn't really have much to do in terms of anything because the defence clean up in front of him. But Pope this season, especially in the last couple of games, has kept us in some massive games. And the scorelines could have been a lot stronger if it wasn't for him. So that's the only reason why I think he'd get in over Ederson.
Not to scare you, but is there any chance of him remaining? Like, is there any threat of him leaving?
He's in contract talks at the minute with us. I think it's just hanging in the balance on what happens. He's still got 2 years left. I think he's got 1 year and an option of a 1 year extension. But I think if we go down, we will lose him. Someone like Spurs will get him if Lloris goes, wandering off. But
All right.
I just think we'll lose players.
If I was Lampard, I'd get rid of Pickford and get Nick Pope. If I was Lampard, because I think in Everton the big issue is also with the keeper. That keeper doesn't give any defender confidence. I'm sorry, I just don't feel. What's his name?
Expect when you've got arms like that. How are you meant to make a save? What are you meant to do?
I know. I just don't feel like he's he shouldn't even be number one for England. I'm sorry. Ramsdale has had a better season and there's even better keepers. Nick Pope are put in front of him. Even Henderson, who hasn't played at United, are put in front of Pickford. Pickford just doesn't give you confidence. He will do those camera saves, but when it comes to certain areas, players know just put it far away from him, it's in. So what about your right back?
Interesting. Haven't you been playing Cancelo at right back recently?
No, Cancelo is left back. It's Walker as right back.
And we've played Stones at right back on occasion.
All right.
3 times, I think.
Yeah, we've really not really got much to shout about in on the right back, apart from Connor Roberts has done decent, but he's not ripped it up. I'll give it to Kyle Walker for right back. I think he's the standout option there, in my opinion. Connor Roberts he's changed it up a bit, but I still think he's adapting to the way Burnley play since he's moved from Swansea. So Kyle Walker takes that. I know he's injured. I'm saying, are we going just on players that are playing now, or
we're looking for
players that are available
now.
Players that are available.
So I'm going to say Diaz goes straight in.
Tarkowski.
You know, put both of your 2 centre backs in, because our centre backs at the minute haven't been great.
We're kind of limited.
The two Man City guys. Which centre backs?
Why do we do this? I mean, because the obvious is the obvious, right? Why don't you make it a blend? It doesn't have to be perfect, but let's say 2 of the back 4 have to be Burnley, 2 of the back 4 have to be City. Blended that way, so it's with the best of the best, right? And so we have a well-balanced team as opposed to. I mean, the obvious is the obvious.
I think it actually works out that way in the sense that Stones was playing with the first team, but we don't know, right? So let's work on the case of being cautious.
Tarkowski and Laporte.
Laporte,
yeah, that's fair enough. So Tarkowski for me this season, as much as he's been raving about and he's going to leave us on a free at the end of the season, I just think that he's not really ripped it up. He's sort of had quite a few mistakes in him this season. It's only since after the January window when he realised, I ain't going to move, that he's decided to actually play a bit of football and actually do all right, which is poor, really. But it just is what it is. That's just that.
So what about the defensive midfielder?
Who've you got in CDM?
I think Rodri's going to be good.
Yeah. I think you got to put Rodri in there. Rodri and CDM, and to make it fair in terms of midfielders, I'm going to go.
Sorry, Dan. One sec, guys. Do you think that we might see Fernandinho?
Oh hell no.
No, it's not. No. I don't think. No, I don't think so.
Not for this game. Knowing the series of matches coming up.
Not in a million years.
Hold on. Hear me out.
He could be. He could
play. Because if he doesn't play this game, when does Rodri get a break?
He had a break with the international break. He was on the bench in the other games, wasn't he?
Yes,
but Fernandinho didn't actually play this game, to your point, because of. I mean, Kone is the quickest player probably on Burnley's side, right? So that's one person you have to look out for. But you have Kyle Walker to cover that piece. In the middle of the park, I don't know, Dan, who in your team is really quick that Fernandinho has to watch out for, but you could play Fernandinho right in the middle of the park if we have the ball.
I'd say Josh Brownhill. Josh Brownhill for us has been class. So that's why I'm thinking maybe do we take Rodri out and put Foden and KDB in front and have Brownhill in CDM?
Okay. But Vader, your point about Fernandinho, I think is a valid one, right? Thinking ahead.
that's what had me questioning what Pep may do, just because is the
Overthink,
expectation that Rodri is going to play Burnley, Atletico, Liverpool, Atletico, Liverpool. I mean, sorry, Liverpool and then Leeds. Like, there's got to be
Yeah.
some game that he
Oh,
gets.
I get where you're coming from. So look, so we just put Brownhill because we obviously taking over the other two midfielders, isn't it? So what do you put? So you want Foden in midfield because he usually plays at the left or false nine these days.
Yeah, I'm just gonna put him in there with KDB because obviously wingers wise, I don't think you can. Obviously, we'll get to that, but I don't think you can rule out Cornet and Mahrez for those positions. If we were to even it up, because Mahrez has been class this season.
Yeah, and he's getting slept on. I know all the pundits in the media have their own slant with regards to teams that they cheer, but Mahrez does not get recognized enough.
He doesn't get the credit he deserves.
Oh my gosh, he's killing.
Massively underrated.
Most of them are busy twerking for Salah, so
he's massively underrated, and he bloody loves a goal against us, which I'm not looking forward to.
He does.
That's true.
So who's going to be the striker? Obviously, your man, isn't it? Because
I'll put Weghorst there.
Yeah. Like Timothy said earlier, like Man City have not really brought a striker in. They've sort of had someone, as you say, like Foden playing that false nine, and the wingers bombing on and getting involved. So yeah, I'll go Weghorst.
You know why I'm putting Weghorst there, right, Patrick? Because it reminds me of another 6'3" striker that I'm anxious to get.
Oh, you mean Haaland?
Yeah, man.
Still growing.
Okay, so that's the lineup, guys. The combined lineup. We've got Pope, Walker at right back, Tarkowski and Laporte at centre backs, Cancelo left back, Brownhill. I'm dying to see Brownhill because I haven't seen him a lot myself. Foden, and then De Bruyne, Mahrez. Then is it what? How do you say that? Weghorst or Weghorst?
So it's like, as much as it's spelled like Weghorst, it's Veg. So it's spelled like
oh, so
Veg.
It's like a V or Weghorst.
Yeah. So Weghorst.
Okay. Kanote. I like this player, Kanote. I've always liked him since Leon. He's a very good player. Very good and talented player. So guys, that's the combined.
Okay, good. Cornet's there. Good.
Yeah, the left there. So guys, that's the combined lineup. There's a comment here. Fernandinho can play against Atletico Madrid if he needs to. That's a good shout because Atletico Madrid don't attack. There's no fast players in that midfield in that Atletico Madrid lineup. They also have got a lot of odd players in defense, a few odd horses in that team. So maybe Fernandinho play one of the games, but we need somebody who.
You not find it odd though, Patrick? You're going from playing Burnley to the Spanish Burnley, basically.
I know. It's practice. Tomorrow is practice.
Which is kind of I talked about that. It's actually good preparation for the game. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. You know what will be interesting, Dan, is to watch Burnley against Atleti. I would almost put money on Burnley.
Well, would you put your money on that?
Yeah, because Burnley
Atleti have an advantage though, because people like Joao Felix can change the game if they want, Yeah,
the problem is that they're going to get the ball. That's the problem, right?
Yeah, let me be honest. I've been thinking about.
If you had Joao Felix up against Ben Mee and James Tarkowski, and he takes one early knock in that game, his arse will fall out.
Look, I've been thinking for a while, guys. Dan, makes me laugh. Okay, look, I've been thinking for a while. Atletico apparently like teams that keep the ball. They like you to play in front of them. I have a feeling they're going to enjoy the hell out of us just playing in front of them. I think they're just going to sit in that box.
I don't think so, man.
If they did that, apparently, if you play against, I want you to just go watch the Spanish teams, right?
I watch.
Give me a minute. Give me a minute.
When last did I play?
No, wait, Gundo, chill. I'm saying that just go and watch them, right? When they play Spanish teams that pass the ball a lot, they will just pack it and just leave it for you.
And when was the last time they beat Barcelona? When was the last time Atleti beat
Barcelona?
Barcelona?
Which Barcelona? The new one or the old
Any
one?
Barcelona, even this last one. When last did they beat?
I've never paid attention to any of
Are
the
you speaking
Barcelona
of
That's
games.
been
success?
like 6 years, man.
No, they haven't had success, but I think to Patrick's point that they're going to be comfortable in taking that approach against us, right? Is that what you meant?
Yeah, they are.
Let me explain why I don't think so, right? So this is a myth, right? Around, if you watch Atleti, for example, against United, they sat back. United could not create any chances because United don't know how to pass the ball between the lines like City do. When you watch Atleti versus Liverpool, Liverpool battered them. Liverpool had like 70% possession, played half the field, and completely tore them to shreds. Possession-based football. So let's get this thing out of our mind that somehow Atleti are going to sit back and frustrate City. I don't think so. I think if you're not good at passing the ball between the lines, yeah, you get frustrated like United. But if Liverpool can batter them home and away, was it what 6-1 on aggregate or something like that? They will rip them to shreds. Yeah.
Okay.
Ask Hussam. Hussam's on the stream. Ask him. They absolutely tore them apart. Even AC Milan gave them a whopping. So, it's even Barcelona under what's his name, the old Dutch guy, that guy Koeman, beat them as well. So let's be clear. This idea that somehow Atleti are gonna sit back and do this fighting counter. How many chances did they have against United? One or two.
No,
They scored.
but here's the thing. I agree with you that they won't be so threatening offensively.
Yeah.
I agree with you in that regard. But I think where the frustration may take part, if we don't remain patient, is they are going to be so compact.
Mm-hmm.
And that is where they're going to be comfortable just everyone being behind the ball, seeing what we do, and hoping to counter. But that's what they're going to try to do definitely for the first leg.
Yeah, I agree that Vader, you can do that for 90 minutes, but for 3 hours of football against a possession-based side, and you go back home, it's
that's what.
Yeah,
that's what everybody's saying. They're saying that this is that's what everybody said. It's a clash of styles, But but look, let's not just predict because
the thing is, Patrick, it's the same though. It's the same here with Burnley though. As you say, it's we don't like possession of the ball. We hate it. We'd rather see the other team have possession of the ball because when teams allow us to have the possession of the ball, we don't know what the hell to do with it. We're like, right,
I've seen you guys.
What happens here?
I've seen you guys. It's funny.
Why are you letting us play? Like, what do we do from here? It's what you feel like just picking the ball up and saying, "My mum shouting my tea's ready. I'm going home. It's my ball. That's it. My rules." But you look at the stats of games that we win. The possession is way out of our hands. It's like 70-30 in the opposition's favour that got beat. And games like this, though, is completely different. When you come and play against us, we're almost like, oh, it's Manchester City, like that, like that sort of boy at school that all the girls are just ogling over, and then literally like we're just there like, oh, and then we just turn on our bellies like a dog and just let you tickle our belly like no tomorrow. And next minute it's 5-0, you've gone, and we're just there going like what's going on?
It isn't always that bad. Remember that game that I think it was 2-1 at the Etihad that Aguero scored? You guys give us a run. So sometimes it's the 1-0 away, the 18-19 season. You guys
he had to kick the ball and we had to use goal line technology to.
Yeah,
so you guys have brought the game before. If you lock up, we also.
The one thing I respect about Burnley, right? One thing I like about Burnley is that Burnley do not twerk for anyone. Seriously. Right? They may get carried away. They may get, a lucky goal, still get a goal here, and then the next one's a goal. But they don't twerk for Liverpool like, Palace do, or like, all due respect, some other, what club is that twerks a lot? Arsenal will twerk for Liverpool, right? Because they just twerk. That's what we do. Southampton will twerk for Liverpool because that's what they just do, right? You give it a game. You actually give it a game. You may lose, but you won't just kind of give up. You keep fighting till the end, which I respect,
I want to ask this, Dan. What would you, and I will look to maybe answer the same question as well, but what would you hate City to do in terms of attacking you? Like, what do you hope we don't do in terms of an approach to win the game that would really make it a long day for you guys?
I hope you don't turn up. I hope you don't put the ball in the back of the net. I hope you have an absolute shit day. I hope it's peeing it down. I hope it's absolutely horrible. I hope they stop serving beer in the away end. Everything could go wrong. But no, serious question. I just think if we can nullify the threat of Mahrez, then that's half of the problem solved. And if we can get anything out of this game, potentially doing that, because him alongside probably Bernardo Silva before him was, was always dangerous against Burnley, and I hated both of them. Mahrez, he gives me nightmares when he plays against us.
He finds a way, doesn't he? Against Burnley, he always finds a way.
He does, and it's so infuriating.
And is there a concern on that side of the pitch for you, like defensively? Is that the more concerning side?
To be fair, when Eric Peters were there, and as much as he's like last legs and dying out, he has been pretty solid in the last couple of games previous to his injury. Charlie Taylor's come back, and it's almost like Kone and Charlie Taylor are still getting used to each other's game. So we are a little bit weaker on the left-hand side, I'd say. So Mahrez will have a very good chance of running, cutting in, and things like that, because Charlie Taylor, he used to get his foot in and really go deep, but now he's sort of sitting off. Okay. And that's one thing you don't want to be doing against Mahrez, is giving him space. You want to get in his face early and make him make a quick decision. If we can do that, I think this is the sort of game that we don't stand off, we don't go defensive, we go man marking, man for man, and don't let you get the space, because there's been many games we've played against you, and we've just let you play around with it in the middle of the park, and we're like, whenever you want to give us a kick, lads, just give us a shout. It's sort of been like that. So I'm hoping we're actually going to get involved in the game and go, you know what? No, you might have said we can't play football. Let's show you that we can play football, and we're actually going to fight to stay in this league. And this is this is no Kevin Keegan rant. Don't worry about that. But let's just go for it. Let's just go for it, and who knows what happens. Yeah, 90 minutes is 90 minutes. As long as if we get beat, which I'm expecting us to be, I just think that at least if we get beat and we fought, then I'm happy with that. But there's been too many games this season where we've got beat and we've just looked like we couldn't give two shiny ones. So,
Dan, follow-on question for you. So the game before our game is Watford, and Watford get beat. Does that change the mentality and psychology of the game against City by Burnley? And recognize that the next game for Burnley, I think, is against a relegation rival. Is it Everton or what?
We've got Everton on Wednesday night, yeah.
Okay. Does that change the kind of the mentality that you get almost in the benefit of Watford losing, and then the opportunity to reel in Everton the next game if you lose against City?
See, the games against the teams around us this season, that's another thing we've been pouring. If the bottom half of the table was a mini league, we would still be rock bottom against the teams in that half, because we have been absolutely dire against them. We haven't been able to be successful on the ball. We've Watford had no clean sheet all season, no point on the road. Welcome to Turf Moor. There's the red carpet rolled out for you. Take it. Norwich hadn't had a point on the board at that point. Welcome to Turf Moor. Take the point, run with it, enjoy yourself. And we've been too inviting to teams. We've sort of just let them play and let them do it. And it's just bit us big time. We need to change that. And I'm hoping it's just got to a point now. We've got 11 games because we've still got 2 in hand. We've got 11 cup finals ourselves. And We've got to, it's... The teams around us are starting to pick up points. Mm-hmm. So now we need to do our bit, but we've also got to now hope that the other teams around us fall. And for me, I think it's too little too late.
You think you're going down?
Yeah.
Okay, guys, I'm going to have to let Dan go. I think you've got a show at 9 o'clock, don't you?
No, it's at 9:30.
Okay, great.
So I know.
I'm just going to read a few comments here. Just wait, Gunda. I'm just going to read. Atletico is all for they want to win if they can get in your head. Don't let them in your head and we'll win. And then we have a comment here. In Big Morgan says, in Pep we trust. Yeah, we trust Pep in the Champions League and everywhere. Luca Live says, big up to you, Luca, man. Good Arsenal channel. Good content from Luca. Always here to support us, and I'm always here to support you, Luca. Daniel says, Mahrez is our most clinical player this season. Yeah, he's very clinical this season. He's got about 22 goals. Deserves way more respect. Yeah, Dan said that, and Gundo said that, and also Veta said the same thing. Hope we play like Watford tomorrow. Dan, no offense, but
probably still get a result.
I know, but so anyway, from what were you about to ask him, Gundo? I was about to ask the score.
Yeah, just thinking about. I know Norwich are gone. I think Watford are gone. So it's between Leeds, Burnley.
Yeah, if we don't beat Everton on Thursday, mate, then that's it. We're gone. We've got after the City game, we have got Everton and Norwich. Even a point is not good enough against Everton. It is not good enough. There's too many times we have played teams around us and got a point. The Watford game that got called off and then got rescheduled. We sold out the whole stadium and was literally got behind the team just to watch Burnley. Not even fart in that fixture. It was bullshit, and we didn't even fart. And
so this is why
that bugged me.
This is Patrick Vader. This is why I say the game tomorrow is actually more difficult than the Liverpool game at home.
It's a dangerous game, yeah.
Because Burnley will want to get at least a point tomorrow. If it means playing 10 in the box, they will play 10 in the box to get that point. Because the next game, you can win, get a point against City, win against Everton if you can, and then win against Norwich. They're in the clear, almost.
Yeah. It'll be difficult. That's the reason why I answered what's his name. That's why I know. I just answered him halfway and I forgot to answer him back. He said it's going to be a training session. It's not going to be a training session.
City may win. They could win.
Yeah, but it won't be as easy as he said that it's a training session. It's going to be training. Not with teams that are fighting. Not with teams that are fighting.
The only way that it becomes an easy game is if we show the form of City scoring that early goal.
Yeah.
Like if City comes out and it's like, as soon as the ball's kicked, it's suffering and it's intense, pressure constant on offense and defense, and we score early, then it becomes an easy game. But if we get to,
they have to open up, don't they? Because once we score early, they have to open up.
Yes, and then it's more of a game, and I think that's
we do that though. We do that too many times though, where you get the goal, and then that's it. We just sort of go, oh well, there's one, and then 5 minutes later we're 4-0 down, and you're just like, whoa, why? Why just capitulate and fold on yourself? Give it some fire. It's only one goal.
I have to say this. The thing that I'm going to be very alert for, I'm going to be sitting up in my chair while watching the game, is set pieces.
Yeah. We've been crap at set pieces this season. We have been awful at set pieces this season. Last season, absolutely fine.
This is what you meant by there's a change of style now. Like you guys have changed completely.
Yeah, we have changed. We try to play more, it's strange to say, but like a tiki-taka style of play every now and again. And we're trying to mix it up, like a bit of that with a bit of trying to get the ball over the top. But recently, Dash has gone back to basics and tried to go over the top. And I think his players are going, 1 minute we're doing this, the next minute we're make your mind up what we're doing. What are we actually doing? What's changing? You say you want to change, and okay, the stuff before over the top, it were boring, it were horrible to watch, but it got results.
Yeah, hoofball. We call it hoofball. We played it. Yeah. The Malawi national team plays it, hoofball.
It got results though, and I think that's been our Achilles heel this season. It's killed us because we've changed our philosophy, we've changed the way we play. But we need to, if we want to attract the type of players like Cornet, like Weghorst, and get them to Turf Moor, they're not going to want to come to Burnley if they've got a bit of creativity, a bit of flair, because they think, I'm not going to get to use that because it's just going to be like me, ball, foot, hoof, and that's it. If they're going to get a chance to actually get the ball down and play some football, they might actually want to come to Turf Moor. But as I say, it's all now in the hands of those above, and for me, it's too. I think we're just too little, too late. I think we've too late to bite the cherry a bit.
Okay, guys. So what? So I'm gonna start with you, Gundo, since you have to leave in 5 minutes. So what's the prediction tomorrow, Kyle? What do you
I
feel?
think it's going to be a tight 1-0 for City. Tight 1-0.
Okay. What about yourself, Dan?
City win 3-0.
Okay. Okay.
I
What
just
just
I think I'm being honest. I'd rather not sit here and say, oh yeah, you know, we're gonna win. If we get something out of this result, I'm gonna be bouncing around this front room. I'm gonna be there, like, and it won't be the TV remote, but it's something will be going like this. I'll be walking around the front room celebrating like we're staying up already. However, I just can't see it happening. I can't see it happening. I think we're already in a
in the
mess.
trenches? Yeah.
Yeah, and this is where you sort of die for the cause. But hopefully we can go down fighting. If we do go down, we go down fighting. That's all I ask.
Oh,
I'll be
okay.
upset that we go down, but if we go down fighting, we give it a go. We've punched above
respect,
our weight we've punched above our weight for too many seasons.
You have, in all fairness, you have.
And you know, it is
still,
what it is. Hopefully we'll come back up.
I'll give you. I still think you're going to stay up. I think that Everton's run-in is horrible.
I'd love
I mean,
Everton to go down because my stepdad's a Blue as well, so I'd love to rub it in his
Everton's
face.
run-in is horrible, horrible. And we have to play Liverpool, United, Arsenal, that play all these teams before in the next 9 games. It is Chelsea. It's horrible. Chelsea could send them down, which is why your game on Thursday against them is a massive game.
Yeah, that's gonna be a great game.
I think you'll beat them. I have a feeling you'll beat them. That defense is not well. There is no
I'm
structure.
debating doing a watch along for it, so I'm either going to be crying or happy tears.
Yeah, you
What about yourself? What about yourself, Veta? How do you feel, Veta, for tomorrow?
I think it's going to be the last time we played them, was it not 2-0? I think it's going to be a repeat like that. It's going to be interesting to see what Liverpool does in their earlier game, but I think we're going to be up for it. Pep's going to make sure that they set the tone for the remaining series of matches, and I see a tight 2-0. See a tight 2-0.
Okay, that's cool. I think I'm also I don't know. I'm seeing a goal from Burnley. I just see a goal from Burnley. I just have a feeling that's gonna be. So I'm going.
Yeah, be an own goal in a 3-0 defeat.
I'm seeing a 3-1. I'm going for a 3-1. Guys, in the comments, what do you think the result is going to be tomorrow? Please say it in the comments. If you didn't watch us on live version, you can put in the comments. Tell us what you feel, how the lineup was, the combined lineup. I'm going to post that on Twitter. Dan, as always, a pleasure having you here.
Thank you.
Always, such a gentleman and one of the most helpful YouTubers out there. Gundorian, as a pleasure always. If you're free for the other stuff, we'll do it. If not, then we can do it another time. Don't worry about that. Veta, as always, always lovely having you on, man. Always lovely having you on. I'm enjoying your videos, your regular videos. You're working so hard, man. Dan, this man is working extra hard. He's coming out with a video every minute. He's making me feel like I'm behind, you know. I'm like, oh, I have to catch up with my brother here. But good content. So anyway, I'm just gonna give you a minute for you guys to just holler your channels. I'll start with you, Dan.
Yeah, so as it says just below me, Turf Morehouse TV is the YouTube channel name, but just Turf Morehouse on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Twitch. We're on it. And we're on also podcast platforms, Anchor, Google Podcast, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts as well.
Yeah,
but thanks for having me as well, mate.
And you have a show tonight, don't you?
I do. I have a show tonight at 9:30 doing predicting the 11 games that are to be played this weekend, and obviously the Everton game on Wednesday. So yeah, head on over and we'll predict all those 11 games. And I'm not doing great in the prediction league, so hopefully I can do better this week.
Okay, Grant. Thank you very much, Dan. So what about yourself, Veta? Tell the people where they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube. Obviously, you can find me on Twitch. The handle there for Twitter is right there, Vader Games, and I'm doing my best to create content as often as I can when when the energy hits me, when the thought hits me, the ideas. So definitely tune in when you can. I definitely look to do a recording once a week, and obviously sharing some highlights. But I've kind of developed the show Why Always Me. You can see by the background, I'm a international fan for Man City, based here in Toronto. So a lot of things I consume is online. I just try to share a different point of view. So tune in, help support the humble channel that's growing, and let's make it happen. Thank you so much.
Okay, guys in the comments, I see you here. Hi, Mills, you're a bit late, mate, but thanks for coming on. Daniel says 2-0. Come on, CD, that's good. Thank you, Dan, as always, and Big Morgan, everybody who was in the chat. And here, City haven't lost to Burnley for a time. Yeah, we haven't for a while. Hopefully, it doesn't start tomorrow. Okay, cheers, Dan. Thanks for your input. So, guys, that's it for us today. And as always, it's quite funny. As soon as the show starts going, a lot of you start coming in, which is quite funny. Dan, does this happen on your channel? Every time you're about to close up, about like 20 people jump in and they start watching. You're like, okay, where were all these 20 people? Should I start the streams at 8:30? Maybe is that the reason why? But you start at 8:30, they come in at 9:30. It's quite funny. Anyway, so Dan, thank you, man. It's a pleasure. I'm gonna be in the comment section, throwing you as always. And Veta, thank you very much, guys.
Thank you very much for having me on, pal.
And yeah, as always, a pleasure. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to True City Fan, as always, guys. Help out your boy. Support, let the channel grow. We're doing very well so far. Let's continue growing together. As always, guys, City fans, if you're interested in coming on and having your say, you're always welcome to come in. Just one more comment here. He looks like Stuart. I don't get. What do you mean he looks like Stuart? I don't get what he means, man. Is that Stuart Little or which Stuart are we talking about here? So anyway, guys, that's it from me. Goodbye. Till next time.